Welcome back to CubeCon 2023. Justin Parnell joined by my new coverage partner for the last round of Apartlo. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. We've had the chance to watch the Creatureless Cube, and you actually had the chance to go down and watch some magic.
Yeah, the game looks sweet. I was watching a game earlier where one of the players drafted this really sweet like mono black control deck. So there was like turn 1 duress, turn 2 him. There was like a fleet wheel cruiser just like bashing in for damage. There was like a Beseech the Mirror as well. So it's just like this.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's this really spicy mono black control deck.
That sounds very spicy. Oh my gosh. Well, we are going to our finals. We could be seeing that deck in action.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Let's see who we are playing because we actually had a draw in the last round too. So one of the players that drew is going to be in this match, and it's going to be Derek.
No, not Derek.
It's going to be Derek. So Derek, to catch you up a little bit, just had a marathon 50-plus minute match where in the dying moments he miscalculated his opponent's life total and aimed a chain lightning at a creature when his opponent was at 3.
Oh no. Happens to the best of us.
It does. So he came over mortified, but you know he's back. He's going to try to finish off this draft, and he's going to have a chance to win if he picks up the W here against Austin Ash.
Looks like he's mulliganing because I saw nothing but lands, which is not what you want to see.
Derek is probably like, everything is now going wrong. But you know what? Derek's deck is pretty aggressive. We have a blue-red artifact-based deck where he's making a lot of tokens, turning them into creatures, and then attacking with Ensoul Artifacts. Stacked with black
Ooh, Ensoul Artifacts a nice one.
Yes.
Spicy one.
Derek's deck is great. We saw Austin's deck for like a moment in a backup match, and then he won immediately.
Right.
We do know he has blue and black cards, and that's about it. So it looks like Austin is potentially keeping his 7. Kind of tough for me to see. I think I'm counting 7 here.
Yeah, we've got 7.
Awesome. Austin is going to be on the play, and we're going to start with a island.
I see a Retrofit Foundry in hand. Here we go.
And that's exactly what he's going to deploy on the first turn, which is going to be difficult for Derek to get past. Making a lot of blockers is not something he is well suited to do.
Derek also has the Chain Lightning in hand.
Right. So, and I'm sure he is going to be taking keen attention of his opponent's life total this game after the mishap last time.
I think this is a Mishra's Factory for Austin here, I believe.
I'm so glad that you know that.
I believe it is.
I was going to ask, not exactly sure. Yeah, we're getting got by a couple of these Secret Lair cards, but we've got most of them.
Ooh, so we have a Darksteel Citadel here, which is a really good target for this Ensoul Artifact.
It is. Ensoul Artifact or the Blackstaff Waterdeep, both of which turn an artifact into a creature, and Derek has definitely been keen to do that in several of his previous matches.
Reminds me of the old standard deck, like during, I believe it came at F15 standard, where you had the Shrapnel Blast Ensoul Artifact deck. That was a lot of fun.
And he's got an improvised club, which is going to stand again for the Shrapnel Blast here, doing 4 damage. So
this deck looks sweet.
Yes, we've had a blast watching Derek's deck. It really is able to change. He's got a really dynamic sideboard where he can go more into white to find a lot more anti-artifact and enchantment cards. If he needs to do that is a different question, but seeing this Retrofitter Foundry on the first turn from Austin means that he already might be thinking about what he's siding in for Game 2 after he potentially wins this Game 1.
Yes. Looks like Austin's having a little think here about what to do.
Austin carefully considering, but is going to serve in with the serve O into the red zone, taking Derek down to 19.
Trying to see what else is in hand here.
Yeah, we got to really find out what we have. Looks like a riddle form.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Enchantment that turns into a 3/3 flyer when you play a non-creature spell. Well, good news.
There's a lot of non-creature spells in this cube.
100% of them,
yes,
in fact. So that's going to be pretty good for Austin once that gets going.
Currency counter.
Currency converter. Now, do you know what type of token currency converter makes?
Treasures, right?
There's
Treasures, Rogues, which Derek has a token of.
Exactly, a 2/2 Rogue. That's so this is one of Derek's favorite cards, which is why he selected
really
the
sweet card.
2/2 Rogue. Yeah.
I used to play this one in Commander because I used to play Quintorius, the Strixhaven Uncommon Legendary, and it's really good with Currency Converter because you just make those 3/2 spirits.
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome because it's from Exile.
Yeah.
Exile it when you discard it.
Bag of Holding is also great.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So we see Austin's going to turn. Oh, no. We're just getting a more proper servo. That was actually, oh, and then we are going to turn that servo directly into a Thopter. So we worked hard to get that token. It's probably going to come back. I imagine it's not going to be the last servo we see.
Retrofit Foundry is just such an incredible card.
Oh my! It's what a cube stable. You know,
Caleb Dudwood beat me with that card in the Wisconsin England match on Thursday. Just kept upgrading his tokens, and it's just like, you're really mean.
Goodness,
I don't like this.
I watched
as
that
the aggro player.
Right? Yeah, that was in your game 3, and I think that just took it over.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So fresh wounds still healing from seeing Retrofitter Foundry across the board for Emma. But Austin is going to continue to, looks like landing on, I think that is Frantic Search, but I'm not 100% sure. We're going to see what he casts.
I do see a Journey to Nowhere in hand here, but Austin has no white mana.
Right. Journey to Nowhere, great, is just going to permanently get rid of something, but looks as a Dross Skull Bomb, I believe.
It's either the blue or the black one. I'm not too familiar with the Skull Bombs.
Now that I say it, it's not the black one because I think that gets a creature back from the graveyard, and I don't think that would be very good.
No.
So likely is going to be the blue one.
Yeah.
And we're going to see this Mishra's factory get suited up, and Austin is going to come in for 6.
Getting on the aggro here.
Yeah. Derek normally the aggro deck, but he's definitely going to be on the defensive here in the early game.
Yeah.
As Austin has applied a lot of pressure with only a single creature token, and now the rest on Derek's turn, back to non-creatures.
Discarding this Strike It Rich. Maybe cashing it in later for some value.
Ironically, Strike It Rich, no matter what, was going to give Derek a treasure.
Yeah. Looks like Derek has a Lightning Bolt in hand as well that can deal with this Riddle form once it's animated.
Well, once Derek's does have to find some red mana, but can get it from Currency Converter if it needs to be. Derek tapping 3.
For a Saheeli, Sublime Artificer.
Which is good. That's going to gum up the ground potentially from this this Mistress Factory. But we do have a Thopter and a Riddle form in the air, and that's not exactly going to help there.
Yep. Now we're going to upgrade this token into a 4/4, I believe.
We now have a large, beefy token, a big old 4/4 construct. Well, servos are good at getting in the way in that. Do we think that Saheeli's going to live that long?
Probably
I would guess not.
Poor Saheeli.
So when Riddle form is not busy attacking, it can also scry 1 for 2. Now, Austin has not needed to do that, but it's an option if the game continues to go long. Austin, obviously, more of a control deck, despite what we're seeing early on.
Yeah, this is a very aggressive curve.
Yeah.
Granted, Derek hasn't had much in the way of interacting with Austin's board, so he's just allowed just to grow with these tokens thanks to Retrofit Foundry.
Right, and I would say that is because Derek is shy on red mana right
Yeah,
now.
it's unfortunate.
As you've noted, we have...
Looks like a repeal here.
Oh, a repeal. Oh, excellent in this queue.
Mm.
A lot of tokens hanging around. And repeal going to take care of one right now. Going to draw a card. Riddle form is going to turn into a creature. Bingo, bango. Austin's going to come across the board for 7.
Looks like a Rafine's Tower here, I believe.
Rafine's Tower going to shore up that mana. We now have white for that Journey to Nowhere.
Indeed.
Derek at 6. In trouble. Going to make a treasure. Likely, oh no, gonna make a rogue and gonna scoop it up going into game 2. That was a quick one for Austin. We actually might see a quick one here. This could be potentially a very, very good matchup for Austin.
Yes.
A lot of interaction. Derek needs to go fast. Didn't have an opportunity to do it there.
Yep, Derek unfortunately being choked on the red mana just meant couldn't really do much with all the aggression thanks to Riddle form and Retrofit Foundry.
Yeah, it's going to be tough when some of your most powerful spells are Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning, and you can't cast them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen.
It happens to the best of us.
Right. I mean, really, in such a heavy artifact type cube, you're incentivized to play lands like Darksteel Citadel, which Derek did have, but that means you might have one less red mana accessible in deck building.
This is it.
So if you were looking for more cube content, you know where you'd find it?
Cube heads.
That is exactly right.
Yeah, so if you want more Cube content and you want to see more like interviews with like personalities, like us too, like big Cube, we're kind of big Cube heads ourselves, right?
I'm a huge Cube head.
I'm a huge Cube head too. Yeah, you check out Cube heads. It's everything that you would want for content and personalities when it comes to Cube.
Love it. And if you're not able to be here at CubeCon this year, you can go to at youtube.com/@CubeHeads right now and post CubeCon to see all of this amazing Cube content that Steve has been shooting the entire weekend.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to check it out. Because,
me too. Me too. It's going to be great.
Exactly. We're here. We've been in the booth so much. We can't see everything.
Yeah.
So check out youtube.com/@CubeHeads. Now, Derek, the good news, silver lining here, Austin doesn't exactly know what Derek's plan is.
Right.
Because Derek didn't do much of his plan.
Also, like Austin only probably knows is like it's just like a mono blue deck is there, and he does probably not aware of the red that's in there or this burning interaction.
Right.
So hopefully Derek can just get a few, get some red sources, get some blue sources, and hopefully have a nice back and forth game because it did feel a little one-sided.
Well, Derek is starting this game with the cards he had stranded in his hand last game. I see Lightning Bolt.
I see a Steam Vents this time though, so
that's a critical one,
which is a big one.
Yeah, we have Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning in there. And Derek's going to need to be on the play. That's going to be really important. He's going to want to be the aggressor where Austin was last time, but that seemed also kind of like a rare draw for Austin.
Right, this is it.
Ooh, you know what else I spotted?
What's that?
I saw an Ensoul Artifact in Derek's hand.
Ooh.
We have the Skull Bomb from Austin again. It hung around. And Derek's going to spend a little bit of time developing his mana, which was the reason he quickly lost last game. So it makes sense to make sure he has that fully online here.
Yeah, and playing these triomes and these shock lands like tapped, Derek knows Austin's not the aggressive deck.
Right.
The curve from the last game was just it was quite rare for this deck, right? So he's able to play these tap lands and not get punished.
Right. Things just lined up for Austin, and Derek now with red mana going to be in a position to make sure that type of thing doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I think Austin has the Modern Age, I believe. I want to say looks like the Modern Age.
Yep. So the Modern Age, we are going to draw one, discard one, and we're going to do that twice.
Yes.
Then we're going to be a 2/3 on the back.
Yeah, it's a good card.
2/3 is flying. Hello.
Relevant.
That's going to be very relevant. Vector Glider, but notably 3 toughness.
Yes.
That's something Derek likes to see. Derek simply deploying Hallowed Fountain on his turn, tapped, going to hold up this interaction and see what Austin does. And, similarly on Derek's side, maybe Austin could potentially look like it was.
I do see a Smuggler Copter in Austin's hand, so hopefully that can get. It is 3 toughness, which is relevant when crewed.
It definitely is.
Love me a Smuggler's Copter, and it seems quite good in this cube.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I've ever played a cube where Smuggler's Copter is not really good.
Right, this is true.
But in particular in this cube, when you, artifacts are a much bigger part of the cube, as we've seen in both players' decks. Smuggler's Copter, really, really excellent. Yeah. And Austin carefully considering this is the finals. This is the finals for Austin, no matter what.
Yes.
If Austin wins outright, he's going to be joining us in the booth for a celebration of his trophy. And he's picking up his white mana here with Celestial Colonnade.
And here comes the Looter Scooter.
That's right. Smuggler's Copter down. And we have now deployed 3 non-creatures, as is standard for this cube.
Let's see what Derek wants to do here. Just gonna wait and see what Austin does and just interact with whatever Austin's trying to do here.
Yeah, Derek probably wants to have that Ensoul Artifact on something, but no artifacts, and likely no other targets. We have a 2/3 now. What do you think that's going to do?
It's either going to attack or crew, depending on if Austin has anything in his hand that he wants to trade away. The rummage effect's always good, and here we go. Smuggler's Copter's going to get in the red zone.
Derek going to let the ability happen, and maybe even just take the 3 damage just to. And I think this is smart, actually.
Yeah.
Because you really just want to see what else happens on Austin turns. And I think one time I would be willing to say, I'll take 3, you can loot once.
Yeah. Just see what Austin's trying to do here, like what spells he's going to play in his second main phase.
Yeah. This lets you get the lay of the land at the cost of a little bit of life and a little bit of card selection for Austin. Looks like we're going to discard
Multiple
multiple
choice, I want to say.
I think
it
that's
looks
right.
like multiple choice.
Multiple choice, a scalable X-Spell, but we will not be seeing it this game, as I don't believe there's any way to get instants and sorceries back very easily. There's a couple ways, but I don't know if Austin has it.
We also have a Retrofit Foundry in Austin's hand as well, which we'll probably see this game. And here we go.
We're going to see it right now. That was the all-star for last game, turning into a 1-1, into a 1-1 flyer, into a 4-4.
Time to make some tokens once again.
Thus, it starts. Quite a powerful card, and as predicted, we're going to see Lightning Bolt at end of turn after Austin has planned for the rest of their turn. Derek says, you get one. Everybody gets one.
Yeah. Believe this is Artificer's class?
Artificer class. And Derek is going to play it and immediately level it up to 2, which is going to reveal cards from the top of his deck until he hits an artifact.
Yeah.
Is it an artifact
Yeah, that
spell?
is.
That's an artifact card.
Spire Bluff Bridge is an artifact.
Not.
Which is also really nice with this in Soul artifact.
Yes, it is. Not what Derek wanted, but hasn't played a land.
Yep.
And now has exactly a target, a juicy one for that Soul artifact.
I also saw an improvised club in Derek's hand as well. So I know it's a little bit early now because Austin's on 20, but there might come a point where Derek can just club for the win.
Yeah, I think that's very realistic. Derek, with the Ensoul artifact, likely going to turn on the aggro side of his deck pretty quickly.
And also, Derek has all the mana he needs. He's got all the colors he needs. So it's going to be in a really good position, despite it not looking quite that way, considering there's no creatures on the board.
Derek's mana base in full effect here.
Yes.
Yeah. Seeing 4 non-basics, perfect mana. Going to be really excellent at pretty much anything he draws for the from now to the end of the game. Austin comes in for 3, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground. And are we going to see him deploy another threat? Ooh, I think that is Occult Epiphany.
Okay.
That's my guess. That is a, if that's correct, it's a blue X spell.
Ooh,
Draw and discard X.
Playing a hard evidence here, getting a crab. I believe you get a crab. No, a clue token, sorry.
Some have called this the Blue Thraven Inspector. How do you feel about that comparison?
I do call it Craven Inspector for a reason.
Craven Inspector?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love that.
We just need a green and a black one, then we'll have the cycle of Craven Inspectors.
That's true. What's the red one?
Vodarian Epicure. The one that makes a blood token.
Fair enough. Yeah, where's the black one?
Yeah, right.
That's the one I want. I don't, the green one, that's fine. You can skip that one.
No one plays green.
No. Vince. That's the only one.
I was talking to Vince earlier in between the rounds, and apparently he drafted a really sweet paradoxical outcome deck.
He did.
That
We got to
did
watch
go
it on
off on
camera.
coverage, like, really sweet.
It was against Derek, actually.
Yeah, oh, no way, no
Yeah.
way.
So,
Poor Derek.
I know. He's been on the receiving end, but you know what? He is here with a chance to still win this draft despite getting hammered in a couple of games. You know what? That's why you play 3.
Yeah.
We are going to go ahead and activate this Retrofitter Foundry, turning the servo into a Thopter. And Retrofitter Foundry, notably, can untap at the tune of 3 mana. So if Austin doesn't deploy anything else, even though it's a Thopter now, it could untap during Derek's instep and then turn that Thopter into a 4/4.
Yeah. Just slowly gumming up the board with these threats, which is going to make it hard for Derek to like connect with any damage. Yes, Derek has burn spells, but those burn spells aren't going at Austin. They're going at the board.
That's right. And speaking of the board, Derek's gonna need to put something on the board. Whether that is an Ensoul artifact, whether it's another sort of token, like there's gonna need to be some sort of blockers because we have a 2/3 flyer. We currently have a 1/1 flyer. All right, Rusted Relic, but we're only at 2 for Metalcraft. Derek pointing out he has that Silver Bluff Bridge to make sure that Austin knows that's good, respectful Magic. Say,
Yes.
don't hide that among your lands. Derek's better than that.
Well, here comes the Ensoul artifact on the Silver Bluff Bridge.
On the tap Silver Bluff Bridge.
Yeah.
Not exactly what Derek wanted, but, you know.
I think Derek's just being efficient with his mana at this point, which is a reasonable thing to do.
Right. Derek doesn't believe he's in danger of dying this turn, so
Yeah, a lot of the tokens are quite small. Like the crab can't attack, obviously. There's some clue tokens. There's this 2/3 flyer from the modern age, and then there's a chance this token might be upgraded to a 4/4.
we're going to find out if Austin is going to decide to do that. Looks like we see some mana tapping. One black, a blue. Nope, we're going to sacrifice Roadside Reliquary.
Because it owns it. Because the modern age turns into enchantment. On the other side, we can draw 2 cards.
That's right, enchantment and artifact for Austin. Going to draw a couple. That's pretty good use of a land.
Yes.
And you know, with now having a Rusted Relic that's going to turn into a 5/5 and a Soul Artifact that's a 5/5, the 4/4 on the ground kind of outclassed.
Right. This is it.
So maybe that Thopter is just better served sticking
I
around.
do see a repeal in Austin's hand as well, which is going to be quite good here as well.
It is. Now, the good news for Derek is Austin, with the repeal, can't permanently get rid of the Insult Artifact because the land cannot be bounced.
No, but the Insult Artifact can. It's not
Right.
ideal, but if you want to exchange something for like a card draw, you're looking for a particular answer, might be an option down the line.
Derek's not going to like it no matter what when it gets
No.
cast.
I mean, who likes being repealed? I mean, I know I don't.
Usually, I'm the one casting repeal. The card doesn't get as much respect as I feel like it deserves.
Yeah. Have enjoyed that one in Vintage Cube over the years.
All right, looks like we have a Castle Lockdwain and
A Prismatic Vista.
are we going to activate? Okay.
Yes,
so
we are.
after we've attacked, we're going to turn this into a 4/4. Now the good news for Austin, Derek's at 11. So can Derek just attack with impunity despite it being for 10 damage? We
Yeah.
don't know. The other black card in Austin's hands is Eliminate.
I'm glad you knew that because I was struggling to figure what it was because I know it's one of the Strixhaven cards and a lot of them look similar to me.
It is Eliminate. Currently, no targets for. I mean, technically, the Insult Artifact is a target for Eliminate. It's not going to be very effective.
No. Oh, we're gonna level up the Artificer's class again.
And that is going to allow Derek every turn to create a token copy of an artifact.
Ooh, okay, that seems pretty. That's going to be interesting.
Now, that could turn into a lot of Rusted Relics.
Yes.
That could turn into more lands, more Silver Bluff bridges. I would imagine it's probably going to be another Rusted Relic, and you're going to have 2 5/5s and a 4/4 on the ground.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah. Now, here's the problem. It's the card you talked about in Austin's hand. Do we think we're going to see this repeal come down before we even have a chance?
I would not be surprised. I think that's what I would do in this situation. I think Austin's getting to the point now where they have such a board state, they can just Austin can just see what Derek does and just play like this tap out control strategy while slowly beating in with these 4/4s and 2/3s.
Right. And Derek has put 10 mana over the course of several turns into this Artificer class.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to square one and having to recast it and go all the way up is going to put Derek in a position where he needs to have time to reach that, and time is what he's short on.
Especially when Derek's on 11 life.
11 life, we have a 2/3 flyer. You know, we don't now again, and we have the 4/4 on the ground. I'm still not 100% sure if that's going to be good, but the thing is, this is a big play for Derek because he doesn't have Metalcraft. He has 2 artifacts. He's banking on making another one with this Artificer class, and if this is not around, he could legitimately be in trouble.
Right.
Because that Rusted Relic is exactly what it is, a Rusted Relic. It's not a 5/5. Looks like Austin going to get clarification with our judge on the side, potentially asking about repeal.
Yes.
Since we know the land, the Silver Blessed Bridge, is a creature, but it is also a land. Still a land, doesn't lose that super type. So Derek, we see making faces, knowing that he's in trouble. He's down a game.
He's definitely in danger.
So repill is X and a blue. Return target non-land permanent with mana value X to its owner's hand and draw a card.
It's a really nice tempo option.
Yeah, this is a card that I actually think I've had in every single of my main cubes that I've made.
Oh, really?
For 15 years now. I love it. It's just.
I remember playing Repeal in Modern.
Yeah.
Mono Blue Tron.
And we're going to see Repeal not bouncing the Artificer class, but it's going to be bouncing the Rusted Relic. And Derek did select the Silver Blessed Bridge. You actually can see the copy down in his lands.
Yes.
Austin going to get to his 6 mana.
We also have this Celestial Colonnade, which is getting pretty close to being activated as well. And a 4/4 flyer in the air is pretty devastating.
It is. And, you know, if Austin were to decide to activate that now, which he could, he has 5 other lands.
It's a 2-turn clock.
2-turn clock. That's not good for Derek. Derek does not have a lot of defense. He does have something from his opening hand, and that is Chain Lightning.
Yes. Unfortunately, so Celestial Colonnade is a 4/4, so Chain Lightning doesn't quite do as much here.
Maybe could take out that 2/3, but not an answer to the Colonnade.
Yeah.
And Derek helping his buddy Austin out. The Colonnade does have Vigilance and Flying.
It does turn into a Serra Angel.
One of the best creature lands of all time, Celestial Colonnade, and something we spotted earlier, Austin has one of the other best creature lands of all time in his deck.
Which is?
Creeping Tar Pit.
Ooh, that's a nice one as well.
Yeah. My personal favorite.
I'm a Raging Ravine girl myself.
Yeah, I could respect that. I've probably attacked with Raging Ravine the most.
Yes. Card's very good.
And I've certainly activated it the most.
Yes.
So, Derek at 5.
It's not looking good.
No. And really, you know, even if you're Chained Lightning and you're taking care of this 2/3, well, then what? What's your plan after that?
There's not. Trying to see what else is in Derek's hand. I see the Chain Lightning. Not sure what else.
Well, Derek's going to need to cast something out of his hand, or the next thing we see from Derek's hand is going to be go across the table for a handshake with Austin.
Yes.
There it is.
Here we go, yeah.
Chain Lightning on the 2/3 flyer.
I'm going to play and replay the Rusted Relic, which is going to make a copy.
Yep. So now we are going to go to back to plan A. We have 2 Rusted Relics. We have a 5/5, a 5/5, and a 5/5.
And we also have Metalcraft now as well, which is nice.
Right. And, you know, Austin can easily come across for 4.
Yep. There's also this Eliminate in hand as well that can deal with the copy. Does it keep the mana value?
It does.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, eliminate drawing dead somehow in this entire game.
Right.
Castle Locklane going to play an untap because we do have a swamp in the left-hand side of Austin's lands. If you were Austin, would you be aggressive with this colony?
Yes. I don't think Derek's doing too much at the minute. Yes, he's making these 5/5s, but you're at 19.
Right. You got some life to give. Now, they're adding up quickly, but ultimately we can only see 15, and I think I would probably bank on that of saying, well, 15 is going to work. I don't attack with my 4/4, and I don't attack with my crab, so if things go really, really wrong, I at least have some blockers.
And there's no trample here either, so. And we've got the club.
The improvised club, which is an instant. It's going to deal 4 to the Celestial Colonnade.
Nice.
So that's great for Derek because Austin has now used his whole turn to try to put Derek to 1.
Yeah.
And this was best case scenario for Derek, as that Celestial Colonnade breathes a sigh of relief. Now, small note, we could have tapped that Celestial Colonnade in the swamp to make a 1/1 servo.
Yeah.
But that option is now gone. And I think that might be what they're discussing right now. Can I tap the Celestial Colonnade for mana before it dies? Is Derek saying you can? Eliminate.
Oh, sure.
Eliminate does not have a legal target. Yeah, that is a 4 mana value creature with his buddy, also a 4 mana value creature.
Sadness will go on the stack. We're probably gonna get a judge interaction here as well, just to clarify the rules.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is not gonna work how Austin wants. Despite it being a copy, it does maintain all of the critical stats of the original. So eliminate uncastable, gonna go back in Austin's hand. Still has access to that 2 mana. It looks like Derek was kind enough to allow Austin to have that if he wants it for the Celestial Colonnade to provide the second.
And that's the nicest thing about Cube, right?
Everyone's been so nice.
Right. It's not like there's no rules lawyering or no takesy backsies. Like you can do that kind of stuff, right? It's all about just playing Magic and having a good time.
Exactly. Now we did see another good card for Derek, which was the Black Staff of Waterdeep.
Ooh, it's a fun one.
He does not have an artifact he can currently turn into a 4/4. But if he did, that is actually the power. All of his creature's powers would be equal to Austin's life total.
Yeah.
And we're going to see
some aggression rumbling in the red zone finally.
Derek getting on the aggressive side. And, he's able to do that because Austin did not make that servo. So he doesn't have enough to return fire to put Derek to 0.
And this crab's going to do some blocking duty.
Austin's still going to take 10, go to 9. And then we're going to have,
Hilda's Icy Crown, I believe.
That could be very bad for Austin. We're not going to make a copy of that legendary artifact,
No.
I would guess.
And here comes the Black Staff of Waterdeep.
Also legendary. We're not going to copy either of those. We might copy this Rusted Relic. I think
I kind of like just making a board of 5/5s. Now you're comfortably in Metalcraft as well with these 2 artifacts in play.
Right. I think Austin's potential decision to allow that Artificer class to get up to level 3 when you had that repeal in hand might be coming back to haunt him. Austin very careful and deliberate with his mana, which we appreciate. Everything very clear for us in the booth and at home.
So is that Eye of the Hive Tyrant in play now?
That's right, which another potential lethal attacker for Austin, but it's going to take 2 turns because Derek's still at 5. But honestly, Austin now it kind of looks like on the back foot because Derek's at 5 and not 4.
Yes.
It's a big deal. Sewed up the board with that Hilda's Icy Crown. That can turn into tap your creature in case you find something that can even come across. So really that Hive of the Eye Tyrant not doing a whole lot for Austin right now.
Looks like Derek's definitely turning the corner in this game. Just slowly making a board of 5/5s. There's going to be a point where Austin just can't deal with the steady stream of threats.
And it could be...
you don't want to play this Retrofit Foundry defensively.
No.
That's not going to win you the game.
Not with Austin. Austin, I don't think is going to have any reach outside of that. Derek is the one with the burn spells, and Derek's saying, it's time. It's time to go.
It's time to be Icy Manipulator time.
Derek untapping with 20 power. Only 2 of these need to connect to end the game. Derek drew his self-proclaimed favorite card in the deck, Rise and Shine.
Nice.
Not going to need it here, though. Although, I say that, you could Rise and Shine on the Black Staff. Since it doesn't have a target, you could turn it into a 4/4 itself.
Ooh, that is a nice play.
And that's still a lethal attacker because Austin's at 9 and not 10.
Yes.
And we've seen Derek be very aggressive with the Rise and Shine.
How it should be, in my opinion.
Right. But not going to happen here. Just going to be content to attack 420. a player's starting life total, which Austin's not quite near enough to survive all of this coming across the table. Austin really in the tank here.
Yeah.
I think
The body language doesn't look good.
no, it does not. I think he thought he was in the driver's seat, and he was.
Yeah, like to begin with, yeah, but this Artificers class is just taking over the game.
Austin perhaps should have gone to class for as long as Derek did. God, Austin can, and I honestly feel bad, continues to look at this eliminating hand turn after turn.
Oh, it's the classic thing that all of us do as Magic players. It's just look at the card and just hope the rule text changes.
Exactly. Yeah. Was there something on this I missed? Let me read through all the flavor
Is
text.
it free mana value or less still? Can it be 4?
Yeah.
It's like when you've got one card in hand and it's a basic land and you keep checking it, hoping it's not a basic land, but unfortunately it is.
And I say Derek could have used the Rise and Shine on the Black Staff, but he knew from earlier when Austin tried to cast the Eliminate that he's got that in his hand.
Yes.
So he's never going to give him a shot to use it. That's just not going to be on the table for Derek. He's going to keep going with these Rusted Relics in this Soul Artifacted land.
So we're still in combat here. We're just waiting to see if Austin has any responses. Wouldn't be surprised to see a servo token in a moment just to do some chump blocking duty.
Right, and maybe I'm wrong about Occult Epiphany being the card on the left. That is an instant that allows you to make creatures. And maybe I'm not. Maybe this is the card we're going to see, but well, let's see. We got some mana tapping now.
Here we go.
6.
Yeah.
Is this Occult Epiphany? X equals 5? It is.
Cool.
Great. So Occult Epiphany, you draw X and you discard X, and you make a 1/1 Spirit with Flying for each card type discarded.
Ooh, okay.
Now this is a really excellent card. And this is actually one of my sleepers in my cube because it doesn't count the number of cards. So, for example, if you discard a Torrential Gearhulk, that's 2 tokens, even if you discard 1 card.
Oh, okay, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it only wants to know the card type. Doesn't care how many cards were discarded. So we got a Mask of Riddles, we got a land, and
something else maybe. This eliminate.
Eliminate. Yeah, it's time to go. Eliminate. All right, we're currently at 3 spirits. He's got to discard 2 more no matter what.
Yeah.
We're drawing 5, discarding 5.
Believe I see a invasion of some kind, which is a
Invasion of
battle card.
Segovia. That's 4 spirits. And Derek got all the tokens ready, counting it for him.
What a good sport.
What a good sport. All right, and that's looks like a Vessel of Narcissus. That's 5.
That's
the full value. Full
did it.
value. Good on you, Austin.
But there's just going to be a lot of blocking here, just to try and stem this bleeding, because Derek's just going to continue to be aggressive thanks to this Artificers class and this Rusted Relic.
If you're Austin, you block 3 or do you block 4?
I think I block 4.
Keep your life total fully intact?
Yeah, like Derek has burn spells. We've seen the Chain Lightning. There's a Lightning Bolt in the graveyard, so Austin has to respect the fact that, cool, can Derek just top deck a burn spell when you're on 3, for example, and just be dead?
It's true. Austin willing to use his life total, the last he has of it, as a resource, going down to floor, potentially giving him maybe there's some sort of out that we don't see.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what Derek made with his Artificer class. I don't know if we missed that trigger.
I see something under the Icy Crown, but I don't know if that's correct. Is that the copy here?
If it is,
It
I don't
can't be
think it could
correct.
be legendary.
Yeah.
Austin going to be tapping 4/3.
Definitely not going to activate this Castle Lock Wayne. We know that much.
Yeah, I would say that's right out.
Yeah.
Off the table. Are we So if we're pointing at the Hilda's Icy Crown, I do believe that's legendary, and they are cleaning that up.
Yep.
Derek did say I did pick it. Oopsie whoopsie. We're gonna get rid of the second legendary one for the legend roll. Hey buddy, we appreciate that. Giving us the thumbs up in the booth, knowing we probably saw that.
Yeah. Magic's a hard game, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words, a lot of things that can happen.
And this is a particularly tough game because this cube is unlike any other cube here at CubeCon.
Right, this is it. Pretty sweet though. I kind of want to play it myself.
I also want to play it myself. I'm gonna try to get a draft in with this cube this weekend if I can. But there's so many great options which we've seen. You've covered which one so far?
I have covered the cartography cube, the Terrell's card.
And next you have up.
So we are covering the regular cube next, and then tomorrow I'll be covering my cube, which is part of the top 64.
Very excited. I know you're really excited for that.
Yeah. There's just something fun about playing Magic with a limitation, you know?
It really is. Mark Rosewater's famous phrase, restriction breeds creativity, and I think there is perhaps no better format that's represented in than cube.
Yeah. And with this cube here, the limitation is just no creatures.
Not a single one. You can find creatures other way, but it's not going to be on the type line of the card. Austin is going to be Oh, okay. So he's finally using the spell bomb from about 45 minutes ago to return the Silver Bluff Bridge to Derek's hand, drawing a card, and the Insult artifact is going to hit the bin.
Yeah.
4 mana coming out.
The Blood Chief's first to hit one of these tokens.
Okay. All right, so we're finally seeing now that we have 5.
Here comes a Rise and Shine.
Oh boy. All right, so Urza's command is gonna make a Power Stone, and I bet it's gonna make a construct here. A construct. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Hiding behind the Power Stone. And that's going to be equal to the number of artifacts that that Derek has, with every attacker being lethal. And then we're going to see
the Rise and Shine.
The Rise and Shine.
It's not Rise and Shine for Austin, unfortunately.
No, it's time to go to sleep for Austin. He's going to be scooping up, and we're going to head to a Game 3. Austin's still going to have a chance to win this trophy.
Yep.
But he's going to have to work for it.
Derek did pull it back impressively.
He did. He seemed out of that game for a while.
Yeah, that Artificer class just sticking around for as long as it did really turned the tide of that game.
Right, yeah. And you got to believe that Austin really thinking about how to best utilize that repeal in future matchups.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're going to, as we've seen a couple of times, we've had the opportunity to watch Derek every round.
Yes.
So Derek has heavily been sideboarding. Derek's got a lot of really great option in his sideboard, so I think he's really assessing what he's looking at for the makeup of his deck every single game.
Yeah. That's a really cool thing about Cube that people don't often do, is like picking cards that can be sideboard cards, just sideboard options, right? It's just nice to have options if your matchup is not too great or there's some particular cards you want to deal with. It's a really smart play from Derek just to be conscious and just shuffle up switch his main deck out between games.
Absolutely. And I think it's especially important in this cube because we have really so many options, and the cube is so unique that people are attacking you from all different angles. Right? It's not just straightforward. You're not just getting attacked every time with creatures. Sometimes you're being an artifact deck, it's a land deck, an enchantment deck. And having access to those cards for those specific matchups in your sideboard is really how you're going to be able to have success in this cube.
It looks like Derek is keeping a 7. Seems pretty happy with that.
We're going to start off with the Prismatic Vista. Austin saying, I don't need 20 life. 19 will do, and I'll take a land instead.
And Derek played a Spirebluff Bridge tapped, which is an artifact, which is important for Derek, and it's getting that red source as what happened in the first game.
Right, and Derek's not going to let that happen again.
No.
That's he knows that things will go poorly. That was that was shaking off the rust from the previous game that
Yeah.
was so devastating for him to lose in the way that he did. But this indestructible land, as we know, there's a lot of options for Derek turning that into a creature.
Speaking of creature, there is the Ensoul artifact.
It's like he planned it that way in
Just
draft.
just that good. You also have a Den of the Bugbear, which might get aggressive in the later periods of the game.
And that could be, the Den of the Bugbear could be the best possible turn to land play.
Yes.
Especially after the come and play tap land. And we have an Invasion of Kaladesh. That's going to give Derek a Thopter token. Derek in the first round against Vince really put a lot of effort into flipping that battle over. It turns into a Aether Wing Gold Scale Flagship legendary vehicle that has power equal to the number of artifacts you control, and Derek's got a lot of those.
And a Cree 1 as well, which is nothing at all when it comes to this cube, given the amount of like 1/1 tokens you can create.
And Derek's got one right there in the Thopter.
Yeah. So it looks like this Rid Form's going to get in the red zone. But Derek does have a Lightning Bolt in hand, so he can answer that later on.
Thank goodness. Riddle Form not as easy to take down with a Chain Lightning, but Derek says, I don't want you to be thinking about that. I want you to be thinking about taking 6 damage for my Ensoul artifact plus my Thopter.
Yeah. And then flipping over this battle. Just a really aggressive start from Derek here. Just doesn't want to mess around. Just play spells and turn sideways.
Right. I think Derek knows that he was lucky to escape that last game going long.
Yes.
Because he's not the go long deck.
Right, this is it.
He played his only go long strategy, which is Artificer class, leveling it all the way up. And I would imagine he's like, I don't think I'm going to have a chance to do that again. I need to end the game as quickly as I can.
Yes. Well, he's off to a good start at the moment, so.
Right. And if he can make sure that Riddle Form plays defense instead of offense, that's going to play directly into his strategy, especially with that Lightning Bolt being able to take it out.
Also an Icy Crown in Derek's hand as well, which is going to do a nice job of just making sure Derek can push in damage as much as possible.
Especially good when you are pushing the offense.
Yes.
Because if Austin tries to activate that Riddle Form during Derek's turn, the Icy Crown can tap it for no mana.
Right.
There's that repeal.
So a good repeal.
Going back to Derek's hand now, that is going to allow Derek to replay it, get another Thopter. Austin says, well, not going to be able to block during your turn, so I might as well attack during mine.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see the battle redeployed. Is Derek going to decide to again fight the battle? Or just going to go for Austin's face?
I kind of just like being aggressive here.
Well, and contextually, if that was the case last turn, Austin would be at 5 less life.
Yep.
We're going to see what Derek has decided. Going to be pretty critical. He really values that battle pretty highly, knowing he's got a lot of artifacts. But time is of the essence for sure. And we know the repeal is gone.
Yes.
So that was one of Austin's best answers to all of the shenanigans that Derek is doing. And we do see Austin's life total updated to 14, meaning that Derek has decided not time for the battle, time for punch. Time for punch you in the mouth. Fly. It sure does.
It does fly. One funny moment during, I was watching between rounds, Derek has some Fulmiridin cards. Every time he cast one, he just shouted for Fulmiridin. It was very funny.
Yes.
And very in flavor as well.
We were discussing that in the booth. You are required to do that or you do not get a token.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's an interesting rule.
Yeah.
All for it.
And looks like we're seeing 2 mana being tapped.
Is this a multiple choice? I believe it's a multiple choice.
It is a multiple choice. X equals 4.
4.
That's the full amount.
Well, I have multiple choices when you can just take them all.
Yeah, this is very unlike any test I took in school. You could,
right.
Yeah, if I could simply just select all of the answers and then one of them would be right, I would have done that every time. I'm not exactly sure how the English school system is, but that is not how it worked here.
Yeah, it doesn't work in England,
Only on
unfortunately.
Strixhaven.
Yeah.
Why have one choice when you can have all? So multiple choice. What's this going to do, Emma? Let's break it down. Everything that Austin's going to get.
So Austin's going to get to scry 1 and then draw a card. Then after that, he may choose the player being Derek in this case, to return a creature they control to the owner's hand. After then, Austin's going to make a 4/4 red and blue elemental creature token. And then finally, X is 4, so he gets to do all of those, which is really nice. So he makes this nice 4/4, a little bit of tempo just to get rid of some threats. And a little bit card draw as well. Just a nice way just to sculpt your hand for the future turns.
Seems pretty powerful in this cube because that bounce is always going to get rid of something pretty permanently.
Yes.
And the 4/4, obviously, a good way to end the game where that can sometimes be hard to cut by.
Yeah. Looks like Derek's opted to defeat the battle.
I think that makes sense. I think it's time to go back to the skies, and that's going to provide you, as Austin we know is, despite what happened last game, pretty good at gumming up the ground.
Yeah. Especially now that multiple choice has been played, this vehicle is probably going to stick around for a little bit.
Looks like we're going to see the Hilda's Icy Crown deployed.
Yeah.
And fortunately for Derek, got that Den of the Bugbear up, so can simply just wait until Austin's instep to tap whatever potential blocker could go on the next turn. And to match the Den of the Bugbear, we see Hive of the Eye Tyrant come down for Austin, but not quite as powerful in the face of this Icy Crown.
No. Especially when you've got a 5/5 and a notable flying threat and going to get in the red zone.
Right.
Derek did also just draw a Prismari command, which is also going to be nice here.
Absolutely. One of the best cards in Derek's deck and likely one of the best cards in the entire cube. Kolaghan's Command and Prismari Command just both so critical when you're dealing with artifacts. Although Kolaghan's Command only has 3 modes in this cube.
Yes.
So it really should be Kolaghan's Charm.
Right. Maybe once we go back to Tarkir, we'll get a charm cycle.
I would love it.
I would love it too.
And Thopter is going to crew up that legendary ship. It's going to attempt to attack for 4, but it looks like Austin's going to say it's time to operate with the occult. Maybe.
Maybe.
Potentially.
Audibling on it right now.
Really thinking about it. Nope, the Cold Epiphany's in his hand, so we've got something else coming down.
Looks like a Tarkir card. That's all I can really tell.
Yeah, I saw a little teamer symbol, maybe.
Yeah. Austin is...
Austin really teasing us here.
Silumgar's command. Yeah. Speaking of commands.
Yeah, there it is. Everybody's got some.
I always enjoyed Dromoka's command. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, I'm a Kolaghan's Command guy. It's
I am not surprised.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to beat that one. I'm always surprised, no matter the cube. It could be the no creature, your life total can't change, no artifact cube, and I'd still be like, oh, Kolaghan's Command.
Oh, I have to take this.
Yeah, I'll figure out a way. To make this good. All right, Austin still deciding: are we going to cast Kolaghan's Command, or are we going to cast the Epiphany? I mean, I don't think you have a bad option here.
No.
All right.
Here comes the Silumgar's command.
Silumgar's, yeah, I called it Kolaghan's Command. Silumgar's Command.
I believe you can take control of a creature, if I remember correctly.
Return a creature to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
Return a permanent to its owner's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Give something a -3/-3. Destroy Planeswalker. That's not going to be an option here.
Nope.
And we are going to see return target permanent to its owner's hand. That's going to be the Silver Bluff Bridge. And Soul Artifact going to be KO'd for the remainder of this game. Not exactly what Derek wanted.
Nope. But here comes the Prismari command.
We're going to deal 2 damage. Creature's going to go to the graveyard. Derek's going to pick up a treasure token for future use.
Treasure token's relevant here because it does buff up that legendary airship as well.
That's right. very, very relevant as it looks like Derek is going to try to close out the game in the air.
Yes. And here comes a Strike It Rich, which also makes a treasure token.
All right, and we now see that players are in turns. I know that Derek does not want to pick up a second draw, and I personally would love to see a clean resolution of this match, so I really hope
Me
that we are able to
too.
get it. It's difficult to see a path here for Austin to win is the problem.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Derek's going to win or they're going to draw.
Yeah.
So in combat, we've tapped the 4/4 Elemental, and then Austin has activated Creeping Tar Pit. Going to try to serve in for 3, unblockable no matter what. Going to bring Derek down to 11. Still going to be tough because, you know, it takes 5 turns to do that, and there are not 5 turns left in the game.
Right.
There's 5 turns total, but Austin's not going to have that many of them himself.
And here comes the hard evidence just to make a crab token, just to stem some of this bleeding.
Craven
some of this
Inspector.
Craven Inspector, my bad.
Right.
Just making a crab to try and soak up some of this damage. And I think Austin is just trying not to die here. I don't think he can win, but he also just doesn't want to lose.
Right.
And I believe Derek has the Epiphany card. I can't remember what it's called. It was from like Corset 21. It's like the 6-mana blue spell.
Sublime Epiphany.
That's the one.
That is a very, very good one. That's a very good one. That's going to let him do all sorts of things. Going to let him draw a card, let him bounce a permanent, non-land permanent, let him create a token that's a copy of a creature he controls, draw a card, and potentially counter-activated abilities such as Creeping Tar Pits turning into a creature.
Yes.
So Derek's about to be eating good and get the full epiphany is what I like to call that. And Austin down to 8. So Derek actually has a shot to end this game.
Yeah.
He's got a shot. And I believe we're going to be on turn 3. We're going to see that green die turn up 1 notch. So Derek has 1 final turn. He's got a shot. Is it a good shot? Probably not, but he's got a shot.
Yeah. Looks like this element. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Austin took back the attack, I believe.
Austin, yeah, because, well, so I think what was happening is he went into combat, and he was expecting Derek to tap it, and Derek's like, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can't kill me. Only I can kill you, so I'm going to wait until the end of your turn to do whatever I need to with this Icy Crown. Yeah, Derek's like, yeah, cool the cucumber. I'll take 4. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah.
And now we have a game of chicken.
Yes.
Austin now realizing that that he's gonna struggle to win. I mean, it's still possible. It's still possible. The Icy Crown is going to make it very, very difficult. But Derek right now is deciding if he wants to fire off this Sublime Epiphany. And I actually think that the answer is yes, even though you can't get full activation on it.
It is really easy just to want to be greedy and try and get everything, but we're at the point now where Derek has like 1 more turn. And Derek just needs to clear up this board as much as possible, just try and find that last 8 points of damage to close out this game.
We don't know if Austin has a counterspell. We do know.
Well, he did have a counter spell, but it was Siligar's command, which he already used.
That's true. So we're going to bounce the 4/4. We're going to make a copy of a Thopter.
Now this is multiple choice.
Yeah, this is really multiple choice. You may choose 1 or more. And going to draw a card. So
See a Glimmer Void?
Glimmer Void.
That's a card I haven't seen in a long time.
And this is Derek's last turn. And unfortunately for Derek, I think this Occult Epiphany is likely going to make enough blockers to send us into a draw. Which is not what we want to see.
No. And this Den of the Bugbear is probably going to get in as well.
Well, Derek's in a use it or lose it situation.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah. We're going to have to get these blockers in. It's going to be difficult for Austin, Austin's probably thinking about, is it possible for me to block enough and then keep potentially 4 of these tokens around to be able to attack back for the win? The answer is going to be no.
But Derek just needs to,
Right.
like that epiphany. Derek doesn't know about the epiphany, so he just needs to see if he can just do something on this final turn.
Yeah, he did his epiphany, and now Austin's going to have his own.
Yeah.
We see the Goblin coming in. Everyone coming in at Austin. And one of them is going to be able to be tapped by the Hilda's Icy Crown. But, at this point, Austin's just going to say, let me get as many different card types as I possibly can. I don't even care what the cards are.
Yep.
Yeah,
Derek seems very defeated here.
Yeah, Derek's body language is, I really didn't want you to have that card. Crap. You did have it.
Yeah.
All right, going to flip that one around to see what, it's an enchantment.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got to double check. All right, Austin, show us your 5.
So we have an enchantment. I believe we have a land. I saw.
Mask of Riddles. That was discarded last time.
Got a couple of lands. We've got an enchantment. Can't quite see the bottom card.
Watery Grave. That's a land. This looks like a vessel, which is an enchantment. I don't know if that's going to get discarded. Survey says. It
Yes.
is. That's 3. We're at 3. 2 more to go.
So we have an enchantment, and we have a land, and I assume this is I believe that's a reality shift, I want to say.
So, yeah, reality shift. So, instant. We have an artifact with the Mask of Riddles. So, we're at 4. All right. So, we're going to get 4.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, going to be good enough, I think. Good enough for the draw, which potentially, I don't really know who's going to win this draft because if Austin's going to draw, going to be 2-0-1. If Joe Anderson, who drew in the last round with Derek, won his, he's also going to be 2-0-1. We might not, sometimes Cube, it's interesting. You don't have draws often, but we do have a tournament structure here where it's possible because, we can't play forever.
No, we cannot. As much as we would like to play Cube forever, we just can't.
And really this is, to make sure that we have respect for everybody else here, we do have to time these rounds, and this is exactly what these players are encountering despite them. Well, I get it. They want to play this cube in as many minutes as possible.
Yes.
They're trying to maximize their cube time. But it is going to come to an end here as Austin's going to pick up all of these blocks, as many as possible.
Yeah. Just working out the maths on how to survive here. It's a shame because Derek was really aggressive, and it's just like Austin just did enough to bounce the skyship on the first time it flipped.
Yeah.
Just stem the bleeding enough. I know a draw is not the ideal outcome, but it's better than losing.
Right. And it's frustrating for Derek because I believe that if this game were to continue, Derek is in a really great position to be able to win, but that's not what we got here. So Derek's going to have to be satisfied with a loss for better or worse, or with a draw for better or worse.
Yeah. And Austin's in the tank just to make sure that they can survive this turn.
Right.
And then it will be Austin's turn 5, and that will be the end of the game.
Yeah, you don't want to be in a situation where you think you don't die and then something goes wrong and you do after you've planned it out so carefully for the last few turns. Looks like we are going to go to combat damage. Austin going to go 2, knowing that Derek has no cards in his hand. And unfortunately, the largest amount of damage that Derek can take is 6.
Yeah.
Unless we have some magical card that makes Derek lose life. If we have like a hopeless nightmare from Wilds of Eldraine.
Nice.
Or
a sign in blood target the opponent.
Or a sign of blood. that would be pretty wild. So Austin's not out of it. I have not seen any sort of direct damage in his deck.
Sure.
So in lieu of that,
so Austin's trying to figure out if he can somehow snatch this.
I know he would like to, and I know it's got to be just
This Icy Crowns also can tap something down too.
right. Yeah, so this is not going to happen, and Derek might be able to shortcut to this draw by pointing out that he's got this Icy Crown. And, yeah, we can't activate both of those creature lands, unfortunately, as much as Austin would like
Yep,
to.
and here comes
there we
the
go.
Icy Crown. Yeah.
And Derek's like, hey,
I have this Icy Manipulator.
right, yeah, you're not gonna get through. It's just not gonna happen.
Yep.
Austin doesn't want to believe it, and it sucks.
I mean, a draw's never ideal in Magic, right?
No.
You played 50 minutes, probably 5-10 minutes more than that. You don't have a result.
Yeah, frustrating for Derek because I know that Derek picked up a draw last round after being in a really frustrating situation, and these players are
And
just
there we
determining
go.
exactly what happens. But we are
Well-
going to have a draw, and you know, I don't know if we have a winner. I think as it worked out with this draw in the last round, it looks like there are 2 players tied, so there's no clean winner for this pod.
No, that's a shame. It's
It
a
is.
real shame, especially on coverage when you want some inevitability. You want someone to win the draft. Is what it is. It does happen, unfortunately. Granted, it's rare to happen in
It
Cube.
is.
It's very rare to happen, especially in a 3-round event like this. But it is what it is.
Right. And these players still in contention to be able to play for top 64 tomorrow.
Yep.
And that's
all
going
the
to start
marbles.
Right. That's going to start tomorrow morning. We have 400 players here. We're going to cut down to 64 of those players. They're going to go into 8 pods, and then those 8 pods, the winners, and there will be winners tomorrow.
Yes,
There's not going to be
definitely.
any draws tomorrow. We're going to have 8 winners, and those 8 winners are going to go to our top 8.
Which would be Vintage Cube, I believe.
It will
The
be.
recent iteration of Vintage Cube that's on Magic Online. So that is a real spicy one for the top 8.
It is. And obviously, we went to time in these last 2 rounds, so we have the next cube that's going to be starting pretty quick, and you're actually going to still be in the
Yeah,
booth.
I'll still be here. Andy Mangold, who I can see right there, is going to join me, and we're going to talk about the regular cube.
I'm pretty excited for that. So I'm going to head out. You guys will see me tomorrow, but Andy and Emma are going to finish you out. So don't go anywhere. CubeCon 2023, we will be back in just a few minutes.